So, a very good morning, student. Welcome to the online lecture series on remote sensing and GIS. So, today we'll start with a new lecture, that is applications of remote sensing and GIS. Right. So, in previous lecture, we were talking about the concepts of GIS, that is Geographical Information System. इसमें हम देखेंगे application of remote sensing and GIS. Right. So, in this lecture, we will see what are the potential application of remote sensing and GIS in our different areas. So let us start with the digital elevation model, that is DEM. So digital elevation model, basically it starts with the definition. So what is a digital elevation model? So just see this PPT. Digital elevation model is one of the significant output of remote sensing and GIS technique, right? So एक सबसे significant output remote sensing and GIS technique का अगर कुछ भी है तो वो है digital elevation model, right? So here let us see what exactly this digital elevation model means. So digital elevation model represents the height information, then that is your Z value. जो भी हाइट की वैल्यू आती है वही आपकी जेड वैल्यू होती है, वही आपका डिजिटल इंफॉर्मेशन एलिवेशन मॉडल एक्चुअली आपको रिप्रेजेंट करता है, ठीक है, along with latitude and longitude of the topography. So you just remember this is our satellite image, ठीक है, आप सबको ये दिख रहा है, ये एक सैटेलाइट इमेज है, ठीक है, ये आपको क्लियर है। ये जो एक सैटेलाइट इमेज है, दिस इज सैटेलाइट इमेज, ठीक है, यहाँ तक आप बात समझ आ रही होगी, ये एक सैटेलाइट इमेज है, ठीक है। सो यू रिमेम्बर दिस about this satellite image product, right? And here what information we had x, y and z. तो जहाँ पे हमारे पास क्या होता था, x होता था, y होता था, z, ठीक है। So x was latitude, y was your longitude, and z was your dn value, which was actually captured by your sensor. But here, when we are talking about the digital elevation model, we are replacing this digital number. This is your Z value, ठीक है, from this pixel with the height information. तो जब भी हम इस तरह का एक सैटेलाइट इमेज लेते थे तो एक्स वाई जेड, लैटिट्यूड, लॉन्गिट्यूड और डीएन नंबर, बट डिजिटल एलिवेशन मॉडल में हम क्या करेंगे, इस जेड वैल्यू को किससे रिप्लेस करेंगे, हाइट इंफॉर्मेशन से, ठीक है। इतनी बात आपको समझ आ रही होगी। So that will be replacing your digital number, that is your Z value from this pixel with the height information. So that will become your altitude. वो altitude हो जाएगा. So when you are having altitude information for every pixel, what additional information you will get? You will get the topography, what kind of topography your area is having. So whether it is flatland or very hilly terrain, so those information you can easily extract from the digital elevation model. So automatic extraction of the topography and hydrological information is one of the major use of the digital elevation model. In addition, its products such as slope aspect and basin information etc are enormously used in the many application. तो पहली चीज आपको इस स्लाइड से जो ये समझ में आ रही है कि जो डिजिटल एलिवेशन मॉडल है हमारे पास, उससे हमको एडिशनल इंफॉर्मेशन क्या मिले, राइट? तो एडिशनल इंफॉर्मेशन क्या मिलेगा, altitude information for every pixel. So what additional information you will get, you will get the topography, what kind of topography your area is having, so whether it is flat land, it is hilly region, so those information you can easily extract from the digital elevation model, right? अब थोड़ा सा आगे बढ़ते हैं, यहाँ तक क्लियर हो रही हैं चीजें? ठीक है। उसके बाद जो दूसरी चीज है, सो डिजिटल एलिवेशन मॉडल. So digital elevation model is very frequently used in the many application. Does not matter whether you are familiar with remote sensing and GIS, but people are using digital elevation model an input in their different application or studies. Most commonly used TMs are SRTM, Aster, Econos, GTOP 30, uh, Cartosat, Cartosat. So these are very popular nowadays. So you can just Google it and you can see their website. What are the different modes? How you can acquire those data sets, or how you can procure those data sets that will learn from their website. Right now, let us see what are the different techniques we use to generate डिजिटल एलिवेशन मॉडल. ठीक है. तो पहला हम काम किए करते हैं. फर्स्ट वन इज बाय यूजिंग द सैटेलाइट स्टीरियो पेयर. ठीक है. सो द डिफरेंट टेक्निक which are involved in generating the digital elevation model. The first one is your satellite stereo pair, right? तो ये क्या होता है, कैसे करते हैं. सेकेंड वन है आपका फोटोग्रामेट्री, और तीसरा है रडार इंटरफेरोमेट्री, और चौथा है लेजर एल्टीमेट्री, और लास्ट वन इज योर कंटूर लाइन. So once you have this contour lines, that means that contours are having the height information. Then you can use different interpolation technique, or maybe you can use the TIN model, that is triangulated irregular network, and you can generate your digital elevation model. ये मैंने आपको previous GIS लेक्चर में अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन किया था. राइट. तो टेक्निक में क्या है, सैटेलाइट स्टीरियो पेयर है. राइट. फोटोग्रामेट्री, radar interferometry, laser altimetry, and then is your contour line. कंटूर लाइन से आप z इंफॉर्मेशन निकालते हो, हाइट की इंफॉर्मेशन निकालते हो. राइट. हाइट की इंफॉर्मेशन जैसे ही आपके पास मिली, आप TIN मॉडल, दैट इज ट्रायंगुलेटेड इरेगुलर नेटवर्क मॉडल का यूज करके आप डिजिटल एलिवेशन मॉडल को जनरेट करते हैं. आई गेस जहां तक बात आपको समझ में आ रही होगी. Now, let us see what exactly we mean by this digital elevation model. Okay, and how it is going to help us. Now you are familiar that Z value here correspond to the altitude, but in satellite, just look at this. But in satellite remote sensing data, we have digital numbers. It can be reflected or emitted or backscattered value. But here you are having the altitude value, height information. So is there any way we can change these two information together, so that our input or the analysis will be more advanced? To let us see this example where I am having SRTM 90 meter DEM, and let us see what is the profile along this A line and along this B line. ठीक है. So what is the profile along this A line and this B line? ठीक है. इसको हम समझने की कोशिश करेंगे. So I will show you how it appears when you draw or when you extract the values, DM values along with these lines. So here you can see this is basically the scale of your DEM. ठीक है. यहाँ पे हमारे पास स्केल है. We have the scale of your DEM. Scale of your DM. So blue is basically, यहाँ पे जो हमारे पास एक स्केल दिया हुआ है, right? So blue is basically the low-lying areas, and red is basically elevated areas. So all these red colors actually represents high altitude location, right? So this must be some hill or this must be some hill, right? So if you have drawn a section here in the blue color, that means it is almost flat. It may be ये जो एरिया है आपका जो ब्लू कलर से लो लाइन है स्केल, तो इसका मतलब ये जो भी एरिया होगा ये फ्लैट होगा, राइट? वेरिंग वेरी स्लोली, द स्लोप विल बी वेरी लेस, बट हियर when we are talking this particular section here, you can see it is crossing this particular hill, so that the information we should get from the profile. ठीक है, तो आई गेस ये चीज आपको समझ आ रही होगी कि कैसे हम एक डीईएम मॉडल से इंफॉर्मेशन को एक्सट्रैक्ट करते हैं। सबसे पहले हम स्केल पे गए और हमने यहाँ पे एक डीईएम मॉडल लिया है SRTM 90 मीटर। अब देखो उस स्केल पे जो ब्लू कलर है वो लो लाइन एरिया, इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि जो भी ब्लू कलर से आप रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हो उस डीईएम में, वो एक फ्लैट टेरेन होगा, उसका स्लोप बहुत ही कम होगा, राइट? और जो रेड है वो हाई लाइंग एरिया है, इसका मतलब वो हिल को रिप्रेजेंट करेगा। तो इस वे में हम डीईएम से इंफॉर्मेशन को एक्सट्रैक्ट करते हैं, राइट? So I guess this is clear. Just please note it down so that we can proceed further. इसको एक बार आप नोट कर लीजिए इस मॉडल को, उसके बाद हम एक और देखते हैं। So let us see one by one how they appear. Like here it is one more example. So just try to understand it. This line ke along, so along this line, this is the profile. So this is the distance in meters and height in meters. So you can see this area is basically increasing like this, right? ये area यहाँ पे increase कर रहा है. So a very gentle slope here. Also it is visible in the blue color. Now it is slowly going towards this light or yellow color. So that means it is increasing slowly. So much such information can be easily derived from your digital elevation model. Now this kind of profile can be extracted from the Google Earth that you can try. ठीक है, अब एक नेक्स्ट सेक्शन आपको दिखाते हैं। See, in the next section where we have this hill in between, let us see how they are appearing. Now you can see this is showing this undulation. ठीक है, यहाँ पे आप देखिए, this is showing the undulation. What does mean? That means these are the hills which are falling in between, right? So it is very clear from this section that this area is not flat land. ये इतना clear हो गया हमको. And the surface profiles give you the exact scenario, and here you can do a lots of analysis like what is the slope, what is the aspect, everything you can calculate. And once you are having this information, you can merge it with the satellite remote sensing data. Does not matter whether it is from space or airborne. Then the input data will make more sense, and definitely your analysis will be better than the earlier stage. So let us see one example here. So let us see how they appear when you join them with the digital elevation model. So this was your satellite data. पहला जो ये इमेज है ये आपका सैटेलाइट डेटा था, इतना क्लियर है। ये आपका DEM है, मतलब ये आपका डिजिटल एलिवेशन मॉडल है इस एरिया का। This is just for an example, and once you combine them, then you will have both the features here where you can join them together. You can easily build a 3D model for that area because you are having the elevation, the altitude. So this is one of the potential areas where you can look for your research, right? So this is how the digital elevation model is actually generated, ठीक है, और उसको हम कैसे कंबाइन करते हैं और इंफॉर्मेशन को कैसे एक्सट्रैक्ट करते हैं, राइट। आगे थोड़ा सा देखते हैं, पहले इसको भी नोट कर। Now let us see what are the different applications or the potential application of remote sensing and GIS in agriculture, right? So first let us start why this agriculture engineering is so important. So Indian agriculture continues to be highly dependent on monsoon, ये बात आप सबको पता है, and rain fed agriculture accounts for 56% of the total crop area. So here you can see how important it is to monitor your rain and how important this agriculture is to survive, right? So in agriculture engineering, there is lots of scope where you can look for the GIS and remote sensing application. As we know, agriculture is our backbone, right? So we need to increase the productivity. We need to monitor all the different parameters so that the production will be or yield will be more. So let us see what are the different scope where we can use our remote sensing and GIS technique. So the first and very important aspect of this problem is revolution to the areas of low productivity, then special care to the water management system. So in water management system, what we can do, we can use the rainwater harvesting, recharging, aquifer command area development. And how do we improve our major irrigation system, right? Then reclaiming of degraded land. So that is the game. It will go to low productivity, how we are reclaiming that one, right? Then improvement of soil quality and dissemination of knowledge, because we need to educate our farmer with this new technology, so that they will be aware of all the drawbacks and the other problems for their cultivation. Okay, now let us see how remote sensing and GIS can help. ठीक है, ये पार्ट आपने आई गेस नोट कर लिया होगा। Now let us see how this remote sensing and GIS can help. So long term observation of agriculture areas. Okay. Then there you can apply your remote sensing and GIS. So mapping of land use through the time series data. So you can easily monitor whether this cropping area is reducing or increasing. So we do not want to reduce our agriculture land. So we want to make sure that at least it should provide the sufficient food to the people. Atmospheric observation, मैंने आपको बताया, the major portion of the agriculture depends on your rain. So the temperature and humidity measurement, cloud motion vector, rain rate, ocean color, sea surface temperature, and when directed, these things can be easily derived from the remote sensing and GIS technique. Then communication, definitely satellites are very important part of that. So share these information to the state government to inform the farmer and data dissemination. Okay. Then very important, very important aspect of remote sensing and GIS application is the crop monitoring. Okay. What the health, what is the yield, that also you can estimate using this technology. So identification, inventory, regional change detection, yield forecast, then these things are very popular example of this remote sensing and GIS. Crop identification, crop pattern, crop rotation, crop diversity. So these things you can easily identify waste claim and water set development. So here the extent and type of the soil salinity and water logging and soil and moisture conservation. So these problems are very common in your agriculture. So you need to dissolve that, or you need to at least identify what are the problem with this particular piece of land, and then you can start the remedial measurements, water resources, that is very important in agriculture. So surface water budget, groundwater command area management. So these are the potential application of remote sensing. GIS is very where you can think of applying these techniques, or you can refer some of the published literature if you are willing to work in this particular area, right? And uh, and see what are the different works has been done using remote sensing and GIS, and how are you contributing more precision farming, and horticulture is another area where you can look for the application of remote sensing and GIS. Inland nutrient variability, sites suitability, then drought assessment, soil moisture availability, climate change in agriculture, methane emission, because that affects a lot to your crop. For such application, you can evolve with a method by using this remote sensing and GIS and conventional technique and solve a problem. That is the main objective of this कोर्स. ठीक है. तो क्रॉप मॉनिटरिंग में क्या होता है? क्रॉप मॉनिटरिंग अनदर, दिस इज वन एग्जांपल फ्रॉम RAD radar sat to scan SAR data showing a rice and cotton. So rice forecast using multi uh, data radar sat or rice SAR data or primary remote sensing source of the weather or the yield model. So यहाँ पे हमारे ये potential areas, right? So these are the potential areas where you can think of to start your research, where you can see this is your 2002 and 2003. ठीक है. So yellow color represent mustard. ठीक है, यहाँ पे yellow color आपका mustard को represent कर रहा है. So red color represent wheat, and for 2003 and 2004 you can see the area has been increased, right? So you can easily find out what are the changes. So the changes can be identified And here you can see this following such methodology, you can easily find out how much area has been used as agriculture and what are the different crops have been cultivated and whether it is more or less compared to last few years, right? So the next one, uh, एक और आपको एग्जांपल दिखाता हूँ. So the next one is remote sensing based change detection. मैंने आपको ऑलरेडी ये एग्जांपल एक शो किया था 2010 and 2011 का. And basically for this one you need to have the data like previous rainfall, farmers preference, local policy, then you can integrate all these things in GIS environment and you can perform the analysis, right? Now let us see what are the different aspects you can monitor from the space. So let us see one by one. Here you can see this is groundwater storage. Okay. आप जहाँ पे देखो ये हमारा ग्राउंड वाटर स्टोरेज है, राइट? उसके बाद and there are different components here and all of them can be monitored by this remote sensing and GIS. So let us see one by one. This is for the surface storage, ठीक है? उसके बाद ग्राउंड वाटर स्टोरेज के बाद हमारा सरफेस स्टोरेज आता है. Okay, then rain you can always estimate, then evapotranspiration, then different aspects like biophysical parameters with vegetation indices, agriculture drought, methodological drought, hydrological drought. So such parameters you can estimate from the remote sensing and GIS, right? See, अगला पोटेंशियल एप्लीकेशन है रिमोट सेंसिंग एंड जीआईएस का इन नेचुरल hazards. So here you may be aware like the different natural hazards or geo hazards which are causing damage to our life and property. Now let us see some of the very good example where people have used this remote sensing and GIS, or where you can use remote sensing and GIS. So in this case of landslide, for landslide it will be very good if you can develop a early warning system, ठीक है? तो एप्लीकेशन ऑफ रिमोट सेंसिंग एंड जीआईएस इन नेचुरल हजार्ड, उसके लिए हम एक स्लाइड आगे चलेंगे, ठीक है? तो सबसे पहली चीज हम देखेंगे लैंडस्लाइड अर्ली वार्निंग सिस्टम. So what are the different parameters you can evolve or derive or estimate through this remote sensing and GIS that may help to develop this early warning system for landslide, right? So early warning systems should integrate four main elements. That is very important. So when you are having this chain, you can see here the first one is monitoring and prediction. The second one is communicating alerts and then responding. So communicating alert, that is the responsibility of the analyst, but the responding is the responsibility of government. So it may be central government or state government, but they should plan the rescue mission or maybe the evacuation process. So here is the risk knowledge, monitoring and prediction. Dissemination of information and responses are important parameters of this early warning system. If one of them fails, then the whole early warning system will fail. So that is why if you are trying to monitor or predict something, that you will be part of this early warning system or decision support system. So failure of any part of the system will imply failure of the whole system. So when you are evolving with such early warning system, please take care of all these parameters. Now let us see one component of this early warning system, that is the landslide hazard monitoring, right? Or when it is where it has been occurred or where it is likely to occur, right? And what are the areas which are more prone to such natural hazard? So landslide hazard zonation can significantly reduce the loss of life and property. There are various methods of level for hazard donation. So you can use any one of them for all of them to evaluate the accuracy of your output. So here you may use information value method, landslide nominal susceptibility factor, frequency ratio method, fuzzy ratio, landslide susceptibility index, artificial neural network or support vector machine. There are many different methods. If you are interested to work in this particular area, you can refer several work which are available in the different journals and maybe you start following them. Okay. You have seen in this previous slide so that the different methods which can be used to monitor or predict this landslide event. So let us understand how the remote sensing and GIS can help. ठीक है, इसको समझना पड़ेगा. So this is one methodology which is taken from this particular literature. You can refer this and there you can see different parameters have been used like digital elevation. This is a product from remote sensing and GIS. So from remote sensing you can derive this topography from DEM, slope and aspect. Land is land cover, alignment, road map, drainage map, soil type, precipitation and lithology from GIS, lineament, buffer, road buffer, drainage density, the data processing and data integration. So you can see there are many inputs which can be derived from this remote sensing and GIS, and ultimately, since this will be the spatial data, you can use a GIS environment to analyze these data sets and come up with the landslide prone areas, and then you can characterize this is the class 1, class 2 or class 3, class 4 areas, right? These are the references which I have followed, so you can refer them to know more about the application of remote sensing and GIS in landslide hazard monitoring. Now the next natural hazard is your flood, which is devastating, right? So let us see what are the different parameters. We will quickly go through. So let us see first parameter which we need for this flood studies, that is your ड्रेनेज पैटर्न. ठीक है, उसके बाद देन दैट यू कैन इजीली डिराइव फ्रॉम रिमोट सेंसिंग. द नेक्स्ट वन इज कैचमेंट साइज. उसके बाद आपका ड्रेनेज पैटर्न सबसे पहला ये वाला है. उसके बाद आपका कैचमेंट का साइज है, राइट. दैट इज आल्सो पॉसिबल फ्रॉम रिमोट सेंसिंग. मैनेजमेंट, लैंड यूज, लैंड कवर, that also comes from remote sensing in GIS. Catchment shape, methodological parameter, that is from another source, then vegetation, then topography, then geology, and then antecedent condition. So these are the parameters which play very critical role in flood analysis. So many of them can be derived from this remote sensing and GIS. और जो अगला हमारा है नेचुरल हजार्ड वो है ड्रॉट. ठीक है, तो ड्रॉट के बारे में देखेंगे. So as we know, drought is a prolonged period of abnormally low rainfall resulting in shortage of water, that may be atmospheric surface or groundwater, right? So it can be any of these three. Okay, so there are different types of drought which occurred, like methodological drought, hydrological drought. Hydrological drought is classified in further two categories. First one is surface water drought, second one is groundwater drought, then agriculture drought, then socio-economic drought. So these are the different types of drought. So you may start thinking like how we can utilize this remote sensing and GIS technology in this particular problem. Okay, so these are the different methods which can be used to assess the drought intensity, and you can map the areas, and this drought index can be easily calculated using the remote sensing data. So in case if you are interested in this, uh, you can easily do this. So this is also one of the potential areas where you can start thinking of your research. So the next natural hazard वो है आपका volcano. So the next one is volcano. In this figure, different parameters are represented, which can be used as an indicator of volcanic eruption. So the here first one is seismicity. So before it erupts, you may have tremors, right? If you keep on monitoring that particular area, that seismic activities can give you an indication about the upcoming event. So the next one is gaseous explosion, or maybe there maybe seepage from which the gases are coming from the mantle. So the next one is hydrology. If there is a slight leakage of liquid or maybe gases, and if you have a river system in that area, that will change the quality of the river water. That can also be used as an indicator of such volcanic eruption. This can also lead to decrease or increasing amount of water in the river system. So the next one is deformation studies, whether the plates are moving away from each other towards each other, or whether there is any deformation in that particular area or not, that you can monitor. So here the most important parameter are gas emission, hydrology, surface deformation, and thermal anomaly. So you can definitely use this thermal remote sensing data to monitor or to predict such events in any given area. ठीक है, तो आज के इस लेक्चर में जो एप्लीकेशन ऑफ रिमोट सेंसिंग एंड जीआईएस का लेक्चर है, इसमें हम यहीं पर इसको वाइंड अप करेंगे आज के लिए, राइट। पार्ट 1 है ये। पार्ट 2 में हम आपको इसका एप्लीकेशन जो फॉरेस्ट्री के लिए, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन इंजीनियरिंग के लिए, राइट, हम यूज करते हैं, उसको हम कवर करेंगे, ठीक है। तो हमने आज देखा कि डिजिटल एलिवेशन मॉडल जो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है, उसको कैसे जनरेट करते हैं, कैसे वो यूजफुल है हमारे लिए, राइट। उसका जेड वैल्यू, उसका हाइट का क्या मीनिंग है, राइट। उसके बाद हमने देखा कि डिफरेंट टेक्निक्स क्या है, ओके, कैसे हम प्रोफाइल को एक्सट्रैक्ट करते हैं, कैसे उसको कंबाइन करते हैं। उसके बाद हमने इसके पोटेंशियल एप्लीकेशन को एग्रीकल्चर में पढ़ा, राइट। उसमें हमने देखा इसका स्कोप कहाँ कहाँ है, क्रॉप मॉनिटरिंग, क्रॉप आइडेंटिफिकेशन, वेस्टलैंड, राइट, ड्राउट, सॉरी, वाटर रिसोर्सेस। उसके बाद हमने देखा कि कैसे डिफरेंट टेक्निक से हम नेचुरल हजार्ड्स, जैसे कि अर्ली वार्निंग सिस्टम में अगर हम बात करें, लैंडस्लाइड है, राइट, उसके बाद हमारा फ्लड है, देन हमारा ड्राउट है, देन हमारा वोल्केनो है। तो जो कल का लेक्चर होगा, आई मीन पार्ट 2 जो होगा हमारा इस एप्लीकेशन ऑफ रिमोट सेंसिंग एंड जीआईएस का, उसमें हम और भी जो एप्लीकेशन है, पोटेंशियल एप्लीकेशन है, उसको कवर करेंगे। आई गेस this is clear to you all. So thank you so much to all the listeners for listening it very patiently. So we'll back with another video in the part 2. So thank you. Have a nice day. God bless you all.